Okay, now we get a little bit deeper into it. And we're going to talk about the difference between white porn and black porn. Now, when you see, when you first started seeing the squirting or the female ejaculation, and anyone out there who's a pornographical connoisseur out there knows that it started in the white movies first, or the white-based porn movies, whether it was white women doing it or black women doing it in the movies. Yeah. Then it transferred over to some of the black movies, but it's only certain women in the black movies that do it, whereas in some of the white porn, anything by certain companies, that's all the women do.
Yeah.
You know, that's all they do, and that's how you know for sure that a woman is getting pleasure. And they start skeeting across everywhere and about to pass out and stuff like that, that's when you know. Whereas in black porn, it's strictly about the black male.
Yeah.
Sticking his big pole in her, wearing her ass out, and then coming on her ass on her face, and that's it.
Yeah.
Whereas when, in white porn, it seems to me a little bit more pleasure, or a little bit time for pleasure is taken out to make sure that that woman ejaculates and squirts. So, I want you all to realize the subliminal message that's contained in that. It's basically saying that we don't give a fuck about whether our women come or not. If you're a black person or more, that the only women who should really receive pleasure is white women or other women who are not black or Moorish or deeply melanated.
Yeah.
Okay? You hear in the porn movies now, especially in black porn movies, where they referring to the sister as bitch all the time, or hoe, and all of this stuff. And this is during the video.
Yeah.
Okay? A major percentage of people watch porn. Matter of fact, the reason why a lot of people even have the internet is to look at free porn.
True.
Number one. Okay? And so if you're seeing this on a consistent basis, and you ain't got no higher mindset, you're going to think that this is how it's supposed to be. Not only that, you see movies where it's a grown man screwing a cheerleader.
Yep.
Or movies where it's supposed to be a teacher having sex with a student.
With the young boy.
With the young boy.
Yeah.
These are some very, very, depending on what point of view you come from, these things can either be very, very knowledgeable or very much against certain sexual spiritual practices. You know, so number one, we've been programmed to think in a lot of ways that a woman ain't really supposed to get hers. If she get it, fine, and not, at least I got mine.
At least I got mine.
And that's pretty much it. Okay. Whereas we're not realizing that for every time we have sex with a sister, we have sexual intercourse with a sister, and she don't climax, for every time she don't, that's a time where she can more and more and more become the most heinous individual you will ever meet towards you. She just hates you. You don't know why she hates you. We have sex all the time. You have sex. She just laying there.
Yeah.
And she ain't getting hers.
And that's another thing I want to touch on. Brothers, if you're not that good and you know you don't have a bad track record so far, might be time that, you might even catch her off guard to incorporate. Don't be afraid to incorporate any means necessary to please her. And what I mean by that is, I hear a lot of brothers out there saying, okay, well, I'm scared to go down on my woman, or I'm scared to bring a toy into the bed. Why not? If you know you bad, you know you need to brush up or read up or figure out what you need to do outside of taking some pill that's going to kill you.
At some point.
Or
mess you up.
Have you run into the emergency room and can't explain why you're there in the first place.
They sticking a needle draining out the blood,
Or you don't have an erection for 4 hours. But, outside of doing that, there's other things that you can do. And if you're scared to walk into a store and look for these things, there's the internet once again. You can go that route.
You can't buy on the
Ain't that the truth?
Internet. If you don't want to get caught out, well, I don't want to go buy this rubber.
Yeah.
You can order a family pack.
Yeah.
And so it's like this. we have to realize the injustice that we do to our women of all types when we do not aid them in being able to climax and have orgasms. We actually we're messing them up. See, a lot of brothers are not realizing too that some of the reasons why women are turning to other women exclusively is because of the fact the man is not giving them what they actually require. And it's not all about dick. You see what I'm saying?
No.
It's not even all about that. It's about allowing that woman to feel that she matters to you at that time. And if she matters to you, you ain't banging her, you touching her, you licking her, you rubbing her, you grabbing her, and all of that stuff. And if you're not giving her that, there's some woman out there who will give it to her.
And they're not ashamed.
It ain't shame. You know, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on who you ask,
Uh-huh.
I have had the the privilege of having sex with bisexual women. And I will tell you, based upon my experience, that's some of the best, one of the best experiences I ever had.
Mm.
Because it seemed to me that that sister was more in touch with herself emotionally and sexually. She just knew things about herself. You get in the bed with her, now move to the left a little bit. There it is. She knew herself.
Yeah.
You didn't have to try to sit there and fiddle around. She was like this. Well, let me go ahead and put you in the proper place right now.
Mm-hmm.
So all we got to worry about
is in and out.
Is when we got to change the sheets. You see what I'm saying? And so it was a great thing because the fact a bisexual woman, she's actually mentally, brain-wise, she's a hermaphrodite.
Mm.
So it's like saying she's male and female in some ways because she does it with both. And it was just a great experience. And that experience with her, the 6 times, 7, or however times we did it, taught me a lot about how to please and deal with women. Because we would have conversations, very intellectual conversations about how to please women. She was like, don't no woman want no man just banging his finger up in her about the color. Don't no woman want that.
No.
She was like, what turns a woman on most? You talking to her softly. Don't be calling her, you little dirty bitch, you want to come? No, talk to her as you're stroking her. Tell her, do you wish this was me inside of you? And stuff like that. And I was like, oh, really? And she was just teaching me. She was telling me stuff. She was like, and she told me one time she didn't give a damn how big a man's endowment were and all of that stuff. She said she could take a woman from any man whenever she got ready because there was just certain things that he may not have been aware of because of the fact he think all he had was a big ding ding and that was it. She knew how to touch that woman's soul through certain things, and one of the things that she enjoyed was making a woman squirt or ejaculate. Well, back then she was calling it ejaculate, and I was like, okay. Now with her, you know, it was more so creamy. I mean, she never complained, but she did tell me about female ejaculation. And she said that's one of the things she got off from seeing a woman do. She was like, one minute, the woman's all calm, and the next minute she get, and waterfall. She said she enjoyed seeing it. And she was like, when a man can do that to his woman, then she said, I'm out of business.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing. She said, I'm out of business, but until then, I can take any man from any woman. He can have $1 million in the bank and he taking care of her every financial need. But sexually, she said ain't no woman out there she can't please because she understands how to please a woman because she understands herself.
And that's a powerful thing for women to understand themselves. To be honest with you, my wife, she said that before me, she didn't know what really, coming was.
Mm-hmm.
It was just getting wet.
Right.
The only time she ever experienced a real orgasm was, and before me, was in the bathtub with the water running over a clip. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, I'm thinking to myself, she's probably been with more people than me. And out of all these brothers, you couldn't get one that was able to, bring you to that point. And I'm just thinking to myself, and then I read up on it. I was like, okay, I get it. Statistically, in this country,